The Sack Man. I made the deal 3 months ago. I wasn't supposed to believe it. Just blood, a mirror, a whisper, a stupid ritual from an old book I found online. Sell your soul, gain your worth. That's what it said. I laughed when I did it. The next morning, my bank account had $4.3 million. It didn't feel like luck. It felt like the world had shifted, like something heavy had clicked into place. And that's when I saw him. I was standing at a gas station off Route 17 when I noticed him across the street, a tall man in soaked clothes, blood running down his arms, a burlap sack tied over his head. He was just standing there. Then he started walking toward me. Slow, steady. I got in my car and drove off so fast, I nearly ripped the pump out of the ground. 10 miles later, I checked the rearview mirror. He was there far behind, still walking down the shoulder of the road. No car, no hurry, just walking. Always walking. I tried to tell myself it was some lunatic, some sick joke. But then I saw him again in Phoenix, in LA, in Seattle. Thousands of miles apart, yet always there, always walking. He doesn't stop. He doesn't eat, sleep, or tire. Once I hit him with my car. He went down hard, rolled across the hood, smashed the windshield. I slammed the brakes, shaking, heart pounding. He lay still for a moment, then slowly he stood up. The sack on his head twisted toward me. His bones cracked as he straightened. And he started walking again. I hit the gas and left the car behind. I flew to New York, then to Iceland. Didn't matter. The second I stepped off the plane, he was there, in the crowd, dripping blood on the floor, moving toward me one step at a time. I tried to shoot him once, borrowed a gun from a guy in a bar, 3 shots to the chest. He staggered but didn't fall, just tilted his head, then kept walking. The bartender didn't see him. No one ever does until it's too late. I haven't slept in 6 days. I see him through windows, reflected in puddles, standing in doorways, always the same pace, always closer. Sometimes I hear his footsteps when I close my eyes. Slow, wet, deliberate. Step, step, step. I tried to outrun him again tonight. Drove until the car died. I'm in the woods now, flashlight dying, heart thundering. I can hear him behind me, that steady, sick rhythm through the leaves. I tried to hide under a fallen tree once. Thought maybe, if I stayed still, he'd walk past. He didn't. He just stopped, stood there for hours. I could hear his breath wet and ragged inside the sack. Then he moved again, one slow step at a time. Toward me. I think I understand now. The money wasn't the deal, it was the bait. The deal was that I'd never stop running. He's close now. I can hear the squelch of his feet in the mud, the blood dripping. I can smell him, iron and rot. I'm going to run again. Maybe I can make it to the road. Maybe I can find light, people, something. He's at the edge of the trees now. Still walking. Always walking. He never stops. He never feels. And sooner or later, everyone slows down. The song beneath the waves. The sea was black that night, black like oil, swallowing light and sound. You could almost feel it breathing beneath the boat. We'd been out for days, maybe a week. It's hard to keep track when you're surrounded by nothing but water and fog. There were 3 of us aboard the Mercy, me, Reed, and Old Hale. We were after anything that would bite: cod, mackerel, hell, even squid. But the nets kept coming up empty. The ocean had gone quiet, like it was holding its breath. Not a damn thing, Hale grumbled, lighting one of his cheap cigarettes. The ember flared and vanished into the mist. They didn't leave, Reed said softly. The fish, they're hiding. From what? I asked. He didn't answer, just stared over the rail, eyes glassy. That's when I heard it, faint at first, like a hum carried on the wind, then clearer, closer. A song. It was beautiful, too beautiful. A woman's voice, soft and trembling, echoing across the waves. Then another joined it, and another, weaving together in a sound that made my heart ache and my skin crawl all at once. Hale looked at me. "You hear that?" "Yeah," I said. My voice came out smaller than I wanted. We leaned over the side. Beneath the surface, the water seemed to shimmer, pale shapes moving below, just out of sight. The singing grew louder. Then I saw her. She rose from the water like a dream, skin silver in the moonlight, eyes as dark as the deep. Her hair floated around her face, glimmering like kelp. She smiled up at us. "Come closer," she whispered. Her voice didn't sound like sound. It felt like it was inside my skull, humming through my ribs. "The sea is kind, the sea forgives." Reed moved first, his lips parted, his eyes unfocused. "She's calling me," he said. I grabbed his arm. "Reed, don't." But he was stronger than he should have been. He tore free, climbed the rail, and leapt. One splash, then nothing. The song changed, lighter now, almost joyful. I stared into the dark water, waiting for him to come back up. He never did. Just a stain spreading across the surface, dark and red. Hale was shaking. Jesus Christ, we're leaving now. He turned the key, but the engine only coughed, sputtered, then died. The song was everywhere now, vibrating through the hull. I could hear laughter underneath it, not human laughter, but something wet and wrong. Shapes were circling the boat. The illusion of beauty faded. Their eyes turned milky white, their mouths stretching open to reveal rows of needle-sharp teeth. Hale snatched up a harpoon. "Stay back," he shouted, and one of them grabbed him by the wrist and yanked him overboard. The splash was quick, the scream quicker. Then there was silence. Just me, the fog, and the song. I stumbled into the cabin, gasping. Everything was damp, the walls, the floor, even the air. I grabbed the flare gun and tried not to listen, but the voices wouldn't stop. They were inside my head now, whispering, humming, singing my name. That's when I saw the carvings on the wall, deep scratches in the wood. We were FISHRMEN too. The sirens were climbing up the sides of the boat. Their eyes met mine through the porthole, endless, hungry. I fired the flare. For a second the night turned blood-red. I saw all of them floating in the water, smiling. The song stopped. Then all together they whispered one word. "Join." And the sea rose up to take me. They found the Mercy drifting the next morning. No bodies, no blood, just the faint sound of humming from below deck, like the echo of a lullaby trapped in the wood. The men at the dock say the sea sings sometimes, on still nights soft and sweet, calling their names. I tell them not to listen. But I can still hear it, even now. The sea is kind. The sea forgives. And it never lets go. The Night Watcher. I've been the caretaker at St. Harlow's Cemetery for 17 years. Most folks don't last long out here. The nights are too quiet, the graves too many. You start to hear things if you stay after midnight, whispers that ride the wind, the soft drag of something moving through the fog. I tell myself it's just the wind. I've been telling myself that for years. But lately, I've started to think the wind's got a voice. St. Harlow was built in the 1800s, a sprawling sea of crooked headstones and leaning mausoleums. The dead here don't stay still. The ground shifts, the soil breathes. Some nights I'll find flowers laid on graves no one's visited in decades. Once I found a door to one of the old crypts open when I swear I'd sealed it the night before. The only light comes from my lantern. I walk the rows, listening to the gravel crunch under my boots, pretending I don't hear the rest, the other footsteps. The ones that stop when I stop. There's one grave I avoid if I can help it. Row E, Plot 43. Eleanor Finch. Her headstone's clean, too clean. Rain never seems to stain it. The grass around it doesn't grow. If you stand there long enough, you start to hear something faint beneath the earth, like knocking. I used to think it was my imagination. Now I'm not so sure. It started getting bad 2 weeks ago. I was doing my rounds when I saw a light flickering near Aliner's grave. Looked like a candle flame swaying in the fog. I went to snuff it out, figured some kids had come to scare themselves. But when I got close, there was no candle, just an open grave. Fresh dirt piled at the sides, coffin lid cracked like something had clawed its way out. The air was wrong, thick and cold. My lantern flickered, hissed, and went out. I heard breathing, not mine, deep and ragged right behind me. When I turned around, there was no one there, just footprints in the fresh mud, leading away toward the chapel. Bare footprints. I followed them, I don't know why. Habit, maybe. That's my job, right? Keep the place clean, safe. But when I pushed open the chapel door, I swear I saw something move in the dark. It looked like a woman, her face pale and stretched, eyes sunken deep. She was wearing a torn burial gown, dirt falling from her hair like ash. Her mouth opened, and I thought she was going to scream. But instead I heard a whisper, a voice inside my head. "You left me in the dark too long." I ran. I don't remember leaving the chapel. I don't remember getting back to the caretaker's house. Just waking up on the floor, lantern shattered beside me, dirt under my nails. I tried to tell the pastor the next morning. He didn't believe me, said I'd been drinking again. Maybe I had just enough to sleep, never enough to dream. But I know what I saw. And every night since, I've found something different waiting for me. A muddy handprint on the door. A woman's voice humming in the graveyard. Open caskets where there shouldn't be any. And last night, every single grave was open. Every single one. No sound but the wind, and 1,000 soft whispers rising from the ground. I can hear them now outside the window. The dead, walking their own paths again, brushing against the walls of my house, tapping at the glass. They don't want me gone. They want me with them. The candlelight outside is getting brighter. They're gathering. I can see Aliner among them, eyes hollow, smile wide. She's mouthing something. I think it's my name. The door is creaking open. If anyone finds this, don't come to St. Harlow. Don't take this job. Don't walk the grounds after dark. Because the dead here don't sleep. They wait. And tonight they're coming for me. The man next door. I'd never paid much attention to my neighbor before that night. Name was Harold Finch. Retired mechanic. Lived alone, kept to himself, the kind of guy you nod to out of obligation and forget 2 seconds later. But on Thursday, just past midnight, I saw him drag a body out of his house. I wasn't snooping, not at first. I'd just gone out to grab a smoke. The neighborhood was quiet, one of those small Midwestern towns that sleeps like the dead. That's when I saw Harold's porch light flick on. He stepped outside, struggling with something heavy wrapped in a tarp, thick, human-sized. He looked around, then hauled it toward his van, grunting under the weight. When the tarp slipped, I saw a hand fall free, pale, limp, unmistakably dead. My cigarette hit the ground. And that's when Harold looked up. Our eyes met across the street. For a long second, neither of us moved. Then he smiled, a slow, thin smile that didn't reach his eyes, and lifted one finger to his lips. SHHH. The police didn't believe me. No body, no blood, no evidence. They did a courtesy check, came back 15 minutes later, and told me Harold said he'd been loading old junk for the dump. The tarp was just trash. They left. That night my tires were slashed. The next morning I found a dead crow nailed to my mailbox. And when I checked the doorbell camera, the footage was gone. The app wouldn't even open. I started seeing him everywhere after that. At the grocery store, 1 aisle over. At the gas station, parked behind me, engine idling. Outside my window at 3 a.m., just standing there in the dark, watching. I'd blink and he'd be gone. I told myself it was paranoia, But then people in town started avoiding me, friends, coworkers, even the sheriff. I'd walk into a diner and conversations would die mid-sentence. Someone spray-painted liar across my door. The landlord lost my lease renewal papers. And Harold, he'd wave from across the street every morning, watering his garden like nothing had happened. The smell came first. Rot, sweet and thick, it seeped through the vents. I called the city, they said they'd check the pipes. No one ever showed. The next night, I woke up to the sound of my front door opening. I grabbed a bat and crept down the stairs, heart hammering. The door was wide open. A trail of muddy footprints led into the living room, and on my couch sat Harold. He was smiling. "Couldn't sleep," he said. "Thought we should talk." He stood, slow and deliberate, eyes never leaving mine. His hands were covered in dirt. I could see something dark under his fingernails. "Why don't you let it go?" he said softly. "Everyone else has." I swung the bat hard. He didn't even flinch. He just caught it mid-swing, stared at me and whispered, "You should have kept your eyes to yourself." Then he left, calm, silent. Like he already knew I wouldn't be here much longer. The next morning my car was gone, my keys too. My phone wouldn't turn on. I tried to walk to the station, the main road was blocked. Construction, they said. I took a side street instead. Every house I passed had curtains drawn. No one looked out. At the corner I saw Harold's van parked in the shadows. Back door open, something large inside, wrapped in blue tarp. And a space next to it, empty, waiting. That was 2 days ago. I'm hiding in the woods now, writing this on an old burner laptop from my car trunk. I can see the town lights in the distance. I can see the road. And I can see him. Walking slowly, patiently. He knows where I am. He always does. I don't think he needs to kill me. Not really. He's already done something worse. He's made me disappear. If you like these stories and want to hear more, go to my channel and check out some of the other videos. Please like and subscribe.